And this is a recording of the sky at 6 in the evening. This spherical thing, it looked to me like a planet, but then this sphere is dull. It's too far away from that to be a planet, too big to be a planet. I don't know what that is. It's an unknown. But the deal is these geometrical patterns that you see here. All this. Look what that is. I'm gonna do a tracing, an outline of what that is. God, it's so complex that it's just nearly impossible to do the correct shape. Because there are so many, it's three-dimensional. You can see this is a fingernail. That's another one, that's another one. See how the deal is, and then these small ones. That's what is so difficult to do, an outline of that geometrical shape. Because each one of them becomes part of another and is part of a bigger one. See how it repeats right here again the same way, and it has these smaller ones. It's insane, man. It's just difficult to show this deal. Even if it's there, you can see this is not pixel. These are not pixel, they're 2D. It's not really pixel, square, you know. This is pixel. That is pixel, it's little squares. But that is different. This is totally different. That's the geometry I've been talking about forever. I had it at the beginning. I had this shape correctly, but it became, I got distracted. Once you lock in on the right shape, then you see that this is no ordinary pixel or whatever from the, see these square rectangles, and each one is made out of a smaller ones, all a defined shape. It's all exactly the same way. Look. And you see this. Well, then you see that this rectangle is part of a big, I mean, you can see the lines. It's like I said, it's so convoluted because they are in front, behind, next. It's a damn hand. Look, this is the best I can do to show the design. But then this one is divided or subdivided because it's overlapping this smaller one. And you see how it repeats here. I mean, is impossible, man, to do it this way. It's just because it's three-dimensional. All I can tell you that the design is that of hands. It's like a fractal. You see all these rectangles, how they repeat next to each other, bigger and smaller in different directions. Because this is, see how the outlines of one is part of the fingernail from another, that is part of a bigger one and a small one. Like I say, only a guy could create something that simple and complex at the same time. Now, what I saw at first is, let me see. See that dull deal, and then you see these two deals right here. Of course, if I zoom in to the core, you're gonna see pixels. In fact, you're looking at the little lines that makes the screen, the monitor screen, which is really a high definition television. And you see that it makes eyes. This looks like an eye. Let's see what part of the... Okay, right here. You see, this looks like an eye. Right there. From this far, it looks like an eye, but it's not. It's all the stupid deals are all the same thing. Fingers from a hand. And then you see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the thumb right there. But then this one is the same way. Boom, boom, boom. And it's just keep repeating and repeating in a smaller, larger, different direction. Now what this object is, I don't know. That spherical deal, I don't know what that is. Look, it's not even spherical. It's some kind of look like a bullet. But you see how how this thing is all of this deal, the texture is all the same thing. 2B deals that are just really fingers from hands. Check it out, look at this design. Check it out, look at this design. See that cross right there? Look at that. See how when you take the color off almost completely, then you see that this whole thing is the same texture. It's only protruding in a way, and you see these vertical lines right here. You see all these vertical lines, tubing. It's that geometry. You just keep on repeating and repeating and repeating. It's the same. Look at the texture right there. Look at the hands. I mean, this is crazy shit, man. Nobody is looking into this deal. Nobody. I will give you $100 and then you are not gonna find one single person dealing with this part of the research. There's none of that. Nobody's, because people are obtuse. Their mind is narrow. They haven't thought about this kind of deal. They don't see it. They just don't see it. Look at where the trees are. Look at how the geometry is just translucent. You can see the tree behind, but you can see all these outlines in front of it. Transparent. I mean, we're swimming in this deal. We're breathing this shit, and we're feeling it, and it's feeling us. We're part of it. There's no such a thing as that we're separated. No. This deal is in layers. We're at the bottom. It acts differently, but that's why when they exploded nuclear weapons, that shit was felt in every dimension and everything else. As far as the universe goes, and somebody say, oh shit, there's some artificial shit exploded somewhere. Somebody did something. The monkeys. Immediately, all the ones that are tuned up to the universe knew where that shit came from, who did it, they felt it. And whoever is really, really at level 30, that corner, God's corner, I imagine there's more entities at that level. It cannot be just one. That one must be the one we call God, must be the designer of this deal, but who designed him? And who designed him? And those are questions that aren't really, when you dive into that ocean, it's just, whoa, man, and just really start, man, how many dimensions are there? How many universes? Who creates? I mean, how far back can you go? I know that somehow when I show that symbol, the environment responded immediately. I have a video where I start talking to what we call the sky or whatever, but I know it's the environment. That consciousness is aware that I know that that's the symbol, that's the shape of the design. And immediately start forming like faces, but really were hands. When I study the video, I see that the faces are made with hand shapes. This is some badass geometry. That you can create all kinds of shit from that single shape. I tell you that the hands of creation is the deal. That's the deal. And you cannot hide from it. And you might be inside your house, inside your room, inside a set of blankets, underground or whatever, you are naked to that because you're swimming in it. It knows you, it knows everything about you, about every single one of us. I mean, we should be ashamed of doing the things that we're doing, killing animals and hurting each other and shit like that. All those bullshit wars over territory or religion or oil or whatever. That's all prehistoric stupid shit for animals that have no reasoning. They cannot reason. We shouldn't have none of that. We should be one unified planet, one race, one everything. No border, no nothing. Get rid of that money system. That shit is what creates criminality and a whole bunch of host of crap that hurt us and lower our consciousness level. We could be living forever too. If we really got tuned up to the universe, we could renew ourselves every single time. Every day, all day long, we could be ageless. And I'm pretty sure that artificially some dudes can do that from the military-industrial complex. They have 0-point energy, 0-point propulsion, and all this bullshit. But when you talk about this kind of conch level, this is tuned up with the original, the source.